With every day rolling on, President Trump just keeps dropping bombshell after bombshell on us left and right. And the latest have just recently hit, and it's from the JFK files that have been released. And to nobody's surprise, we knew that we were going to find some things that we were hoping to be untrue. We were hoping that our government wouldn't have had any involvement in the unaliving of the former president, John F. Kennedy. But, you know, the proof is in the pudding. The data reveals that they weren't involved, and it goes much deeper than that. But something that nobody did expect is that former President Joe Biden's name would somehow come up in the JFK files, especially since he didn't become a senator until years after former President Kennedy, since President Kennedy was unalive back in 1963. But John F. Kennedy's file did produce Joe Biden's name. And in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how Joe Biden's name came up, what he was referenced as, and who did it. It'll blow your mind when you find out. But before that, I want to let this clip of Chanel Rion from On News, you know, she really lays out the sentiment of everybody as these files, these JFK files have been revealed. And she gives a really good description of why President Trump decided to release these files. So I'm going to show you this quick clip of her. Then we're going to get into the who, what, when, where, and why that have come out that connects Joe Biden and JFK. It's going to blow your mind. But let's check out this clip from Chanel.
The true win of this day is a symbolic one. And Trump recognizes this, which is why he's so careful in his remarks around the files' release. Trump says he has no idea what's in the files, rather than lauding the contents, of which, by the way, he has been briefed already. He's merely framed this whole thing with, quote, people have been waiting a long time for this release. This is wise. Because, of course, there will be crumbs of new information, I'm sure of it. And I will sit eagerly by my television waiting for Oliver Stone's next film after he pores over today's files. But make no mistake, Trump's full release of the JFK files should be celebrated not because it gave us answers we didn't already know, but because it acknowledges, for the first time, that we did know. We knew from the moment the Warren Commission started silencing witnesses, from the moment Ruby was shot, from the moment they told us one bullet killed Kennedy. We knew. We knew our government is capable of great evil. The only antidote to government evil is transparency. And that, my friends, is what today was all about.
If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid. Hit that like button. I'll never ask you for a cash app. I'll never ask you for a super chat. But you hitting that like button, it really helps. It helps spread the video out. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. On the Real Politics Podcast, that's what we do, talk real politics. And once you subscribe, hit the notification bell and select all. That way, you'll be notified when I upload new videos. Now, let me ask you, you know, and I want to share with me in the comment section, did you always feel and know that the government was involved in the unaliving of President Kennedy? Or is it shocking to you that the government was involved beyond a shadow of a doubt, that the CIA was involved? Beyond a shadow of a doubt, we know that now. And also, Israeli government comes up a lot in it. And of course, the Cuban government comes up a lot in it. But here's the bombshell. JFK Jr., just right, the son of JFK Jr., while they were going through the JFK files, which has been, you know, heavily investigated from the moment that, you know, he was unalived by quote unquote Lee Harvey Oswald, investigation after investigation after investigation, and collection of documents after collection of documents. Well, in this one, JFK Jr., they uncovered a document written by JFK Jr. where he calls Joe Biden a traitor. And started off, Dear Senator Biden, and this letter was in 1994. I'll read you some of this article real quick. The United States government has started releasing documents on the assassination of President John F. Kennedy that have been kept secret till now, citing national security. This comes after President Donald Trump issued an executive order in January ordering that unredacted files in the cases be made public. While historians do not think a major bombshell might drop after these papers are made public, there is one thing that stands out. According to the Geller report, John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., or JFK Jr., the son of 35th U.S. President John F. Kennedy, once called former President Joe Biden a traitor. It mentions a letter by JFK Jr. where he wrote, Dear Senator Biden, you are a traitor. The documents carry a letter by JFK Jr. delivered by a special agent to Joe Biden on September the 8th, 1994. Who was senator at the time. The letter has been addressed to Senator Joseph Biden, Democrat, Delaware, U.S. Capitol Building, U.S. Senate, Washington, D.C. 20515. And folks, I have a copy of the document right here. Okay, there we go. So as we can see, Federal Bureau of Investigation, United States Justice, Washington Field Office, evidence received September 8th, 1994. UN sub, aka John F. Kennedy Jr., Senator Joseph Biden, victim, August 26, 1994, Worcester, Massachusetts. Envelope postmarked, Worcester, Massachusetts, 016 p.m., 26 August 1994, bearing the handwritten, hand-printed address, Senator Joseph Biden, U.S. Capitol Building, U.S. Senate, blah, blah, blah. Accompanying handwritten letter, hand-printed letter dated 8/26/94, beginning, dear Senator Biden, you are a traitor, ... and bearing the signature, John F. Kennedy Jr. Can you believe that? Now, why would JFK Jr. be calling our former president, Joe Biden, a traitor? And based on what we saw in the last 4 years, is it even surprising that his name would come up in something like that? Because if it surprises you, if a doggone sure doesn't surprise me at all. And that's not the only juicy nugget that's coming out of these JFK files. A lot is coming out, like I said, as far as the CIA's involvement in the taking of President Kennedy's life. And we always knew, at least in the beginning, I didn't, because when you're young, you don't believe the government is capable of doing some of this stuff. But once I learned about the Warren Commission and that, you know, Chief Justice Warren didn't like John F. Kennedy, he hated the man. Matter of fact, most of those people on that commission could not stand. You got Allen Dulles, who was the head of the city. Nobody liked Kennedy that was on that panel. And one guy that was handpicked by Lyndon Johnson really didn't want to be there. And that was Senator Dirksen. He really didn't want to be there. And they got recorded calls of him saying, look, man, they messing this thing up. They're making up stuff. I don't want my name on this. And, you know, because Lyndon Johnson and him was close friends and, you know, their word is their bond, he stuck with it. And he ended up authorizing one of the biggest pieces of propaganda ever pushed on the American people until now. And President Trump, like she said, I agree with Chanel. President Trump is just helping us have more confidence in our belief in what it is that we see and we feel. That magic bullet theory back then in the 60s, and you really think about it, the population was a lot more robotic. They were far more trusting of what the government said at that time. But since then, you know, they've been caught in too many lies. Technology has improved. Cameras are everywhere. Audio is everywhere. Where things that were done in the shadows back then are now, you know, the light is shown on them. It's shined on it, and they're no longer passing the smell test. So, but I just wanted to jump in and share that with you that, yep, then Senator Joseph Biden got a handwritten letter from JFK Jr. calling him a traitor. A traitor. And then look at our last 4 years. Look at how the loyalty was to every other country besides America. Look at how even our own country was infiltrated and invaded by foreigners. And that former president, Joe Biden, watched it happen, incentivized it happening, rewarded the people that were doing it to us. So I tend to agree with JFK Jr., you know, so I just want to jump in and share that with you. And I'm going to come back and share some other stuff as I find out more information from these files as far as specifics on, you know, the unaliving of President Kennedy. But hey, listen, as always, if you've watched this with me this far, thank you so much. And like always, if you haven't already, liked the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm Brian Maxwell saying thanks, and I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.